Welcome, my sisters. Welcome to the Money Masterclass Part 1. I am so excited for this session. Good. Let me know if you're here. Let me know in comments. And let's see who's going to join me here live. I'm also just going to see if all the tech is working out. I haven't gone live on Facebook in quite some months because I have where I spend most of my time. It seems to be working out. Here I am. I can see myself. That's great. Perfect. Now let me know if the comments are working. If you're here, say hi to me, please. So I know that everything is working here. Let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can hear me, if everything is going okay. I see that some of you are here live already. That's perfect. That is amazing. Welcome to everybody. Welcome. I can't see any comments yet. Let me know if you're here. Send me a comment so I know that the comments are working. That would be amazing. And then I would love to get started in a minute because I have so much to share with you here. This is the Money Masterclass Part 1. And I'm really excited to share with you. This is brand new material and I've up-leveled financially so often and so much, and can't wait to share all of this with you. So we're going to go into the 3 reasons why you're not rich yet, or at least not as much as you'd like to be, and the 3-step process that I have used again and again to up-level my money game, and how you can do the same. I'm super excited for this. Great, I think I can see the comments. Welcome, Melanie. Hi. Good. Facebook is sending me weird notifications here, but I think everything is working fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and ignore that since I think everything is looking good. You can all hear me, right? You can all see me. Great. Then let's dive right into it. I know that many of you will be watching this on the recording. So if you are here on the recording, please say hi to me in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. And if you have any questions, let me have them in the comments so I can follow up with you. My voice is a little bit weird today. I went to an amazing tantric event yesterday evening and I stayed out half the night. It was so much fun. And we were doing lots of interactive games and it was quite loud, so I used my voice a bit more than I probably should have. Hi Gina, welcome. Good, so let's dive in, lovelies. Now, I have created a whole new program. Many of you have already heard about it. I'm totally over the moon about it. It's called the Money Magic Mastermind, which I'm going to start on April 14th. And I really created it for women and healers specifically who are ready to up-level their money game big time. It's a 12-week program where we will dive deep with mastermind sessions and powerful shamanic practices, and it will literally change your financial flow forever. And this free 2-part masterclass that I'm doing here, it's going to be preparation work for all those of you who join the Money Magic Mastermind. It's like step 0 or part 0, if you like. And what we're going to do here is important groundwork to help you create more awareness around why you aren't where you want to be yet financially and how to get there for reals. So all those of you who are already signed up, this is where you can start the program already. Good. Now let me start with why I want you all to be rich. So it's because I know that you have a big heart and you are connecting to your soul's purpose, and with more money you will be able to have a greater impact for good in the world. And I know you will agree that our current political and economical systems and values are not of the highest good for all, and that it's high time that things change. Let me know in the comments if you agree with this. Now, my vision is for us women healers to become the new Fortune 500. Like, just imagine that for a moment. I mean, we women healers, we used to be the most highly regarded members of our tribes for millennia, for good reasons, right? We are wise, we are compassionate, we are loving and caring, and we have so much magic that can change the lives of so many people for good. A new era of matriarchy is starting. I can just feel it. I can feel it. And we are the ones who are called upon to usher it in. And, when we combine the power that we have through our connection with spirit with tons of money, well, the kind of change that we can create together is massive. So, let me know in the comments if you agree with all of this, and then we're going to dive right in with the juicy content I have for you today. It's our divine birthright, says Gina. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree. Now, let's start with creating some awareness around your current financial situation, right? Because awareness is always the first step in any transformational process. And so here are the 3 reasons why you are not rich yet, or at least not as much as you'd like to be. Reason 1 is soul level wounds connected to money. We have all gone through existential traumas in this lifetime or in other lifetimes, and that can be a serious obstacle to getting our finances to the next level. If you lost your life in another lifetime because of your profession, say as a magical healer, a witch, well, you might well have unresolved trauma in this lifetime that makes it hard for you to become visible to those people who would love to pay you for your services, for example. Or if you had parents in this lifetime who were stingy about money, or they were fighting about money, that might have led you to believe that either you don't deserve money, or that you're better off without it, which, over the course of time might have in your childhood led to soul loss or power loss. And that's where you struggle now. And that's why shamanism is so amazing, because we can literally get those pieces of ourselves back, right? And that's what needs to happen for us to allow ourselves to really go for all the money we want in the first place. And also, not create any self-sabotage, because often there's part of us that wants the money and another part of us is actually scared of it and is unconsciously pushing it away. Let me know if you're familiar with what I just was talking about. Now, in the Money Magic Mastermind, I'm offering you an incredible early bird bonus where I will personally work on your biggest money wounds from this and from past lifetimes in a shamanic group healing session, which is literally priceless. More about that later. And what also might have happened if money was difficult for you in your childhood or even in your early adulthood is that you created thoughts, beliefs, and feelings around money that limit you today from receiving more. And that brings us to the second reason why you're not rich yet or not as much as you'd like to be. And that is lack mentality, right? I'm sure you've heard that before. It's feeling lack and therefore recreating lack. So if you think and feel that you don't have enough, you create more of that not enoughness. So, remember that we create not what we want, but what we are, right? That's what we manifest. We manifest what we are, not what we want, right? Want literally means a lack, right? So, the lack mentality often comes from wounded inner child patterns. And when as adults we don't tend to our wounded inner child parts, then we think, feel, and behave as victims, right? We feel that life is happening to us, not for us, and we blame others for our financial problems. And, we perceive our current financial situation as lack. And that is, of course, a problem, because then we create more of it, right? So what's needed here is a mindset shift, first of all. Okay, for you to shift your perspective. That's the first step here. So if you're watching this, you belong to the absolute elite of the world. You are educated. You have a device to watch this from. You have a roof over your head. You have food in the fridge. And that means you are already rich, my sister. So I want you to just start thinking that about yourself. I'm rich, I'm fucking rich. This is such a good thought. And in the beginning, if you feel resistance coming up around that thought, like it might feel like not true, write a list of everything you have. You're gonna see it's massive. And if you have a problem with the word rich, if you have a problem with rich people, if you've grown up with this kind of thing, money is the root of all evil, this kind of stuff, feel those feelings. Feel them. Give them room. The only feelings that are dangerous are the ones that we push away. So feel those feelings. And once you've given yourself time to emotionally process that, feel into, is this actually true? And the thing is, there is no truth. What you feel is true is going to be true for you, So if what you are thinking and believing is not helpful to you, well, decide there and then to think and believe something different. Like, I'm rich. I'm already rich, Like me being here in Bali, it makes me really realize how crazy rich we all are in the Western world. So the key is also to take full responsibility for yourself and your financial reality, okay? So no more playing victim, no more, obviously the inner child can come up, but don't let it translate into victim mentality and victim actions and complaining about what you can't afford and that kind of stuff. No, give your inner child room, help her heal. Acknowledge that that's there, that wound, but also acknowledge that you decide what's real for you right now and how you act, and that you can take full responsibility for yourself now because you are not a child anymore. You are a grown-ass woman. So, acceptance, find acceptance for where you're at right now. That's always the second step in any transformational process. First comes the awareness of where you're at, what you really want. Then comes the acceptance of where you are at. So how do you do that? How do you take full responsibility for yourself? Let's go a little bit deeper into that. Let me check the comments first. I'm a wealthy goddess that is overflowing with abundance that I can share with my family, the community, and others in the world. Yes, yes, yes. We manifest what we are, not what we want. Exactly. All the stories we grew up hearing about money. Yeah, for sure, for sure. The cool thing is, that just takes a second, when I'm in a shitty situation, for me nowadays, it just takes a second to realize that all of this is a mirror of me and that I have the power, therefore, to change everything that I'm right now seeing and experiencing that I don't like. It's all in my power. And that's such a good feeling, and it's like, yes, and then I feel like a child and I get excited about, okay, how am I going to change this? But I do it in a high vibe, right? I don't fall into this, oh shit, now I gotta deal with that. Now this was stupid today. Of course, sometimes, shit happens and you can vent. I do that. I have my best friend for that. I just left her a voice message a few days ago about my stupid banker. But of course, another part of me is totally aware that that stupid banker is part of me, right? And I realized that I have so much money now that I need to find better systems to manage it, and I need to take control of that and not keep wanting other people to deal with it, right? So whatever is coming up for you around money, it's about taking responsibility for that. Now, working with your inner child can really make that a lot easier, right? Especially if there's a big money wound there that creates limiting thoughts and feelings for you today around money. And I have a free resource for you that you can use for that. It's a general inner child healing, like a first approach to your inner child, which is especially great if you haven't worked with her before, where you can really get in touch with her, get her to trust you again. And from there in the video, I also suggest other ways for how you can keep working with her. It's not specifically around money, but you can totally custom tailor it to that. I've given you the link in the description to the session. And from there, make a decision to accept where you're at with money at this moment in time without blaming yourself or anybody else, okay? I would always go into, how the story of how my dad would never give me money and I had to steal even like stuff I needed for school and stuff. And it's all true. Yeah, but, what's the point of me staying emotionally stuck in that story, I can reframe that story. I was like, my dad always had enough money, but he didn't see it that way. So what can I do differently? I can be really grateful for what I have, and I can choose to share it generously, unlike he did. And I can see it that, because I didn't have any money growing up and he didn't support me financially, I had this big desire to make more money and I was determined to do it. And I always told him I will be rich one day. And he would always laugh at me. And here I am today, pretty rich. So, this is how you can reframe what happened to you in your past. Find the good things in it and stick to that story instead. And, forgive yourself and others for any perceived wrongs, right? This is so important. Like, you're not forgiving someone else for their sake, you're forgiving them for your sake, right? So that you don't have these yucky feelings anymore. Yeah. And also forgive money if you have any negativity around it, because that too can be a big hindrance to receiving more, right? You need to love money. Okay, you need to create this love affair with money. Like, money is not at all at fault for anything. It's not money's fault that you don't have enough or you don't feel you have enough. It's not money's fault, and all the atrocities that many people commit with the help of money. It's not money's fault. Money is just an energy that supports every one of us. Everything is love, right? And money is an aspect, is a manifestation of that love that we all are. So money does not judge. It does not care what you will use it for. It is totally neutral, but it is supportive of you if you let it be so. So all money cares about is that you value it, because if you don't, that's like a law of attraction contradiction, then of course you will repel it instead of attracting it. So you need to make money your best friend or your lover. So talk nicely about it, appreciate it, give money like a face if you want to imagine what money could look like for you, make it personal, make it a personal relationship. Not this worldwide thing. No, it's your money, it's your money. Make it very intimate, And, even if you have little money or you feel you do, give that money attention. And the more you do and the more appreciation you show, the more money will show up for you as well. And also know that where you are, where you have been in the past, and where you are today with money is not at all an indicator of where you will be in the near future. Really not. Like, things can shift super fast. If only you believe they can, right? If you believe they can't, of course they can't. You consciously create your reality all the time. What you believe is true will be true for you, right? So you just must believe that it's possible for you to change your money reality really fast. And then you need to be willing to do the work to create inner alignment with what you really want. And you need to follow up with aligned action. Good. Let me know if you have questions so far before we move on to reason 3. Awareness, acceptance, forgiveness. Yes. Give it a pretty house to live in and a purse. Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's beautiful, Gina. Good. Now, reason number 3 why you're not rich yet, or at least not as much as you'd like to be, is imbalances in your masculine and feminine energy. Now, I was at this amazing tantric event yesterday. It was already the second time that I went to one of those events. And it is all about women and men consciously connecting with each other. And it is just the most beautiful, beautiful thing, because I went there the first time because I really felt that I was in a little war with my inner masculine, right? The men in your life that show up, they're just a reflection of your own inner masculinity, right? And I had 2 pretty strange encounters with men here in Bali last year. I mean, nothing terrible or something, but also definitely not what I wanted. Although, obviously it happened for a reason. It gave me a lot of clarity on what I actually do want from a man. But I kind of got really scared after that, and I went into my hidey hole and I didn't date at all for like 6 months. And then I thought, okay, enough of that. Dating is fun. Men are good. Let's do this. And when I went to that event, it was so, so, so healing for me, because all the women were this representation of the divine feminine and the men were the representation of the divine masculine. And us connecting together as total strangers, but obviously one, was just so, so healing for me. And I left feeling so nourished and so held by masculine energy and so honored by it. And yesterday was a whole new level, because I went there more relaxed than last time and I knew approximately what was coming. And I was just basking in it all. And it really made me realize that I needed to talk to you about this today, because it is so important that we find this balance of feminine and masculine energies within us, especially when it comes to money. So obviously we're all made up of a union of divine masculine and divine feminine energies, and they're supposed to be like the yin and yang sign, right? Equals. They take up the exact same space. But unfortunately, these energies can get out of alignment, and if there is too much of one and too little of the other, then we will see that show up in our money reality. And I have come up with this really easy sort of system for my clients to understand these energies and balance them. And that's really just by getting clear on what role they play when it comes to receiving money. And it's really simple. The divine masculine has two big roles when it comes to receiving money, and so does the divine feminine. The divine masculine, the first one is, we needed to get clarity and inspiration by accessing higher consciousness, right? Consciousness is a masculine energy. So we can do that, for example, on a shamanic journey. Many of you have studied journeying with me. That's a really amazing way to access higher consciousness and really activate the divine masculine within you. And then the second part of the divine masculine energy is to take aligned action. So you don't just go in for the clarity and the inspiration, but you actually take action on what you receive, right? That's the masculine principle. And the feminine principle is equally important. If we don't take that into account, the masculine is going to be for nothing, right? We need that too. The divine feminine is, first of all about relaxing back into yourself and opening up to receiving. I mean, how are you going to receive, like, if you're all closed up and tight like that? It's not possible, right? Imagine wanting to make love. Like, you have to open up, right? It's the same with money. If you want to let money into your life, you have to open up to receiving. You have to relax, right? And this is the divine feminine, a divine feminine quality that is sincerely lacking in our societies today. It's like, you have to really relax back into yourself. That's not just about relaxation in general. It's this softening into yourself, like feeling comfortable with yourself, like, you know, taking a breath, knowing that you are good, that the world is good, and that what's for you is going to come your way because you are doing this important inner work. And the second part of the divine feminine energy and how you can activate it is nurturing yourself. Nurturing yourself and your clients from your overflow, right? When you've gotten that relaxation, it's time to nurture yourself further. You know, what can you do from there? What will feel good, you know? And that's how, when you nurture yourself and your clients, automatically money is going to flow, right? But don't forget the divine masculine, right? It's like, you absolutely have to combine that with the clarity on what exactly you're supposed to offer your clients, right? On that inspiration for practices or programs, whatever it is, and taking aligned action. Like it's so easy for us to fall into one or the other, right? Because in our societies, these energies are now so divided, but they're really all one. We are really all one. So make sure that you do all of those 4 things. Now I want you to check in with yourself for a moment. Like, are you doing all of those 4 things in equal measure? Do you access higher consciousness to get clarity and inspiration? Do you take aligned action on it? Do you relax back into yourself? Are you open to receiving? And do you nurture yourself and your clients from your overflow, not from a place of burnout? Or do you neglect some aspects? Let me know in the comments where you're at. Like I said before, as always, we need awareness first before we can change some stuff. Gina says, I realized I was in my masculine a lot because of being a single mom. Totally feel you, sister. I'm a single mom as well. And yeah, I mean, we have a lot to do, right? We have a lot of responsibility. We're doing a lot. So for us, it's even more important to honor the other side, for ourselves, for our clients, and also for our kids. Not consistently, says Gina. Okay, well, that's fine, you know. Now you know what to do, and you can do more of that. So, you know, what happens if you favor the feminine over the masculine? You're going to fall into inaction. It's gonna be maybe blissful in action. That was me last year. Too much masculine energy for such a long time. And last year after moving to Bali and I was just exhausted from the move and stuff, I ended up going to the spa 73 times that year. You know, and of course, you know, what will likely happen if this plays out over too long, too much feminine energy, is that no new money flows in, right? Because we stopped getting that clarity and that inspiration on the next steps, and we have stopped taking action on that clarity and inspiration, right? And if you favor the masculine over the feminine, well, you will work your butt off and you will burn out and will feel stressed, but the money will still not show up because in order to receive, you need to relax, right? And if you still somehow manage to make money, it is possible. Yeah, it is possible, but not obviously in the way that we want to. You will not enjoy it. You will not enjoy it, and your clients will probably not feel nurtured by you either, and the money will start to also not appear again. Does all of that make sense? Let me know if it makes sense. Let me know if you have questions. Before we dive into the 3-step process that is needed for you to up-level your finances. Actually, what I want to talk about with you first is the big why. Why do you even want more money? Money is drawn to purpose. So I want you to take a moment to think about why you want more. And the trick here is not to fall into victim mode. Be very careful. Don't go into why you can't have what you want to have now because you don't have the money. Okay? Own that it simply wasn't important enough for you until now. Or that a part of you didn't really want all that money because it didn't feel safe somehow. Okay? We always have money for what we really want. It's a big secret I'm letting you in on. It's true. We always do. So own that you can do and have anything you want. You are a limitless creatrix, okay? All you have to do is believe that. You know, there's this really hardcore example. I'm sure you've heard it before. I have no idea who said it first, but it's this example of, you know, you might think that you don't have 20,000 euros right now, but what if your kid was kidnapped and you needed to come up with that ransom? Would you be able to? Of course you would, right? So this thing that I don't have the money for whatever I want, it is simply not true. You're just not willing to spend that money. You're not willing to get that money for that purpose. And when you own that, there's incredible power in that because you're not in victim mode anymore and you get to make conscious decisions about what you spend your money on and what you don't spend it on from a place of power, from a place of truth about what your values are, what's important to you, and what you want to invest in and what you don't want to invest in, right? You don't get to blame money anymore. And from that powerful place, really literally everything is possible for you. You actually get to make decisions without you know, the money being even, you know, part of the question. You get to decide what you want independently of the money first. That's what I do, you know, when I make decisions. And I started doing that before I had a lot of money. And that's what got me to where I am today, that I really felt into what I wanted and needed independently of the money. I never look at how much something is or how little something is before I buy it. Because I know that what I am drawn to from a higher place, because I don't make buying decisions, even if I go to the supermarket, I don't make buying decisions from a place of, oh, I'm hungry, so I'm gonna buy crap. I'm so past this kind of stuff. Everything I buy, I either need or I love. I'm such a minimalist. Like, this is a big part of my life and very important to me. So that was a side note. Back to what I actually wanted to share. So, you know, you have to believe that everything is possible for you when it comes to money. You have to get clear on what you really want. And then you have to create the feelings, feel the feelings that match what you want, so you're becoming an energetic match. And then you take aligned action to manifest that into the 3D. Okay? So let's tend to the first step of that manifestation process, the clarity. Okay? How much do you want monthly or yearly, and why? How much money? Why? What are you going to do with it, and what will it do for you? And please, when you go about what you want to have monthly or yearly, don't go for what's realistic. There is no realistic. You literally create your reality all the time from within yourself. The only reason why most people can't just create 100K month is because they don't believe it's possible. We literally only limit ourselves. That's how good this universe actually is. We have that free will, and we have incredible power. So let me know in the comments, how much money do you want, monthly or yearly, and why? Give that money a purpose. What is it going to do for you? So take a moment to feel into that, and then share it with us in the comments. Paint me a picture of what your life will look like when you've reached your next level of abundance. Really take a moment now to create that vision and share that vision with me, and keep a record of it, because we will need this again for part 2 of this masterclass, where I will show you, where I will go deeper into what I started telling you about today, like how you can start to manifest it all now before the money even shows up, which is pretty cool. So let me have that vision. Powerful, says Stephanie. Good. Glad it's helpful. I'm a limitless creatrix. Yes, you are. Becoming the energetic match. Exactly. There's a new car that I have my eye on. I love that, Stephanie. Do you know that I've literally never owned a car yet? It's so funny. I really haven't had the desire to buy one yet. I do have a private driver though. So it's quite cool. And the new home, says Stephanie. That's beautiful. Those are beautiful. There's a beautiful purpose to give that money. And the new juicer. Great. I love that. Good. So here's what's really needed to receive and hold much more money that we're currently used to. It's a 3-step process. The first one is releasing. So whenever you call something into your life, you have to first make energetic space for it. Okay? This is how I always explain this to my apprentices when they learn shamanic healing, because that's really important for performing extraction and retrieval work on our clients, that they understand that. Like, you can imagine your energetic system as this ball, and a ball is always full, right? It wouldn't be a ball if you could just take pieces away like that. No, it's always like that. It's always round. And also, it does not grow. Your energetic system is like that. It does not grow. It stays the same size. So if you want to attract more money, well, you need to take something out of that ball that's inside of there right now, out of your system, if you want to add something else in. Does that make sense? This is just a metaphor, right? But I think it makes it really clear how this works. So your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings, your words, your wardrobe, and your other stuff, we need to declutter it all before we can call in something new. So I want you to make a list of everything in those categories I just named that is not aligned with your financial goal. Like, I have this moment, every few months, I look into my closet and I see a piece of clothing that either has holes, or is really worn, or it smells funky and the smell doesn't go away. It has stains, whatever. And I'm like, would my millionaire me wear that? Never. So I take it out of my closet and I give it to charity, So this is just an example, but there's lots of things. Like, for example, if your house is full of clutter, you should see mine. It's literally empty. If your house is full of clutter, there is literally no space, right? I am so sensitive to stuff. Like, every few months on the full moon, I need to go through everything, even every little piece of paper that I own, and see if I want it. Otherwise I go crazy. I just feel the stuff too much. I feel stuck energetically. Whatever I'm trying to create, it's just not working because the stuff keeps me from it. And you are just as affected by your stuff, even if you cannot feel it. This is just because I'm so sensitive. And you might also be that sensitive. You might feel it. So this is a really important thing. And of course, not just the stuff. It's your thoughts, feelings, or words, like which of those are in the way of you receiving more money. So make a list of those and release them. And we're actually going to do that together in the Money Magic Mastermind. But those of you who are already signed up, you can still start this process now, okay? It will be easier during the program if you start it early on. So how do you release something? Well, decluttering when it comes to stuff is all about doing it step by step, room by room, or even just box by box or drawer by drawer. Don't overwhelm yourself, okay? But keep doing it. Keep doing it. Like the reason why you have all that clutter that you actually don't need is because part of you feels safe because of that. So honor those feelings, So when those feelings come up, sit with them, breathe with them, okay, until you feel better and you can continue. This is how you process whatever is the reason for why you have that clutter in the first place. It's a very healing process if you do it right. And like, how do you find out what you need and what you don't need without getting in your head and getting overwhelmed? Hold the objects in your hand and feel into, do I need this? And if it's not something practical, then ask yourself, do I love this? Do I really love this? And then keep that stuff that you need and that you love, and everything else put into piles. One pile for friends and family. Often when you might see an object or something, then you're like, oh, this will be perfect for that person. I just did that yesterday when I went to the tantric event. I took a picture of one of my blouses for my friend first and said, hey, you want this one? It's an expensive, beautiful, all bamboo blouse. But I never wear it. It's brand new. I never wear it. It's just not me. So I asked her, you want it? She said yes. So I brought it to her. It's how you can make someone happy. And the other pile is for charity, and there will likely be a pile that's for the bin as well. And decluttering when it comes to thoughts and feelings is about cultivating awareness. Yeah, so pay attention to your thoughts and the accompanying feelings. And when you realize you're thinking something limiting about money, replace that thought with something that makes you feel good about yourself and about money, and think that instead. And the more you practice that, the less limiting thoughts will pop up, and the more you feel what you need to feel to allow more money in. Same with words. How do you speak about money? Listen to what comes out of your mouth, and then think about what else might be more helpful, what might be more aligned with your intention, and practice saying that instead. Like, for example, I had this pattern where with Lou's dad, I would always complain about how little money I have. Why? Because Lou's dad has not contributed financially to his son's life in, 5.5 years, as old as our son is. He has never given me any child support. Obviously, he owes me tens of thousands by now, but I'm never going to get that money, and it's okay. It's okay. I can take care of my son by myself. Of course, sometimes it makes me angry, but I have learned to appreciate him for what he is and not have any other expectations. And since then, we don't fight anymore, and that's worth all the money in the world to me. So, but I noticed, I had this negative pattern of, like when it came to money, I would like go into this position where I would want him to feel bad. So I would be like, yeah, I have to pay this, I have to pay that, and this costs that much money and stuff. And what the fuck, like I have all that money. It's not a problem at all. So why would I play victim with him just so he feels bad because he doesn't give me child support? How does that serve me exactly? It doesn't serve me at all, right? I just wanted to punish him, but that's just childish, right? No, I will not let him and his patterns make me any smaller than I am. So now when he comes and we talk and money comes up, I say things like, oh my God, I love money. I love paying my employees. I know that they can feed their children with the money I give them. I have 10,000 on that account. Yeah, I have 20,000 on that account. Yeah, so I own it, I own it. And this is really, really important. I used to make myself so small when it came to money. I would always complain about how little I have. And that created that for me again and again, So words are magic, you know, literally magic. So pay attention to them. So let me know if you have questions about any of this, or if you need help with anything specific. So sentences like "I can't afford it" should not be part of your vocabulary. We debunked that as a lie before. Everything you really want, you can afford. The question is, do you really want it? Or do you really want it now? And if you don't, own that. It's not "I can't afford it." It's "I don't want it that badly right now. I prefer to spend that money somewhere else," or "I prefer to not spend that money at all right now." Okay? So, good. Anything else I wanted to tell you about this right here? Oh yeah, another thing of why sometimes you say you can't afford it when you actually just don't want to spend the money. It's because a part of you isn't aligned with it. A part of you is scared of it, of what you are asked to become, you know, and step into when you spend that money. And that little part that is not aligned is your ego. And guess what? Your ego will never be aligned with you stepping into a bigger version of yourself, because your ego is what wants to keep you small and safe. It's the opposite of your higher self, which is what wants you to constantly step forwards into expansion. You need to find a balance between those two, okay? And that leads us to step 2 in this process, which is becoming. Let me just check the comments first. Yes, words are powerful. Absolutely, words are magic. That's why it's called spelling. Exactly. And that's also why I call this the Money Magic Mastermind, what I'm going to do, because it literally is magic. I combine in these practices the power of everything, of the drum, of the words, of like the spirits that are going to help us, of the group energy. There's so many elements that flow together here that literally makes them like magic. I remember Suze Orman talking about this on Oprah years ago. She used to say, clear your clutter and make room for the money. Yeah, I mean, this is something I discovered all on my own, you know, like I could just feel it, that it's not just about money, but everything I wanted to call in, it could literally not, because of the stuff I had, because I had so much stuff before. Like as a teenager and early adult, I would buy everything and anything, and it would make me feel safe, but it would definitely not allow me to grow. So we ask, do you really want it, from the child? And if yes, get it, although it's an extra expense. From the child? Pita, can you explain more what you mean? Would love to help you with this. Good. While I wait for you to go more into what you wanted to ask, let's talk about becoming. We need to become the version of ourselves who is already capable of receiving and holding that much money. And that process has already started in step 1, right? But now we need to add taking aligned action, other than decluttering, other than making space, other than releasing. So, you know, that is what replaces the energy that we've just let go of in step 1. Remember, this is your energetic system. It's always like this. So you let go of something, you need to replace it with something, because your energetic system is always full, right? If you declutter, you let go of certain words, feelings, beliefs, and you don't take aligned action, this space will fill up with something else, and probably something random that you're going to attract from all around you into your energetic system, and not what you want. So make sure you always follow suit with taking aligned action, okay? So this is where you have stopped limiting patterns that have pushed the money away, and where you start to do what will actually lead you to embodying the woman and healer who can receive money, or much more money, by taking different actions than before. Okay, so let me give you an example. If you know one of your patterns is or was to buy lots of different DIY courses, but you know they never get you where you want to be and you don't even finish them, then during this time of becoming, you up-level that pattern and you invest in programs with support. So I'm choosing this example of making an investment because when it comes to receiving more money, making an investment is often the first step. And people confuse that. They're like, oh, I need to make more money first so that then I can afford this. And no, you need to find the money first from the limitless sources that are available to you, which are literally limitless. And then you can step into that expansion that allows for much more money than that to come in. This is basic entrepreneurial mindset. I have grown up in a family of entrepreneurs, and I have studied entrepreneurship at university, but when I come into the coaching and healing space, most people don't understand that. Like, you cannot have a successful business without investing in it first. It's like, for me, it's very logical, but I find many people kind of expect their business to generate money without them having put money in first. It's not how it works. So that's just an example, right? This is not just about receiving money from your business, but really like opening up to receiving money from everywhere and anywhere. So, you know, an investment is how we say, I am worthy of this, and this is worth it to me. Now, another example of a pattern. If your pattern is to wait and to not take action on your goals at all, then this time of becoming is where you take action, you know, even and especially if you're scared, because you know that the fear just means that you are expanding into something bigger than you've been before, and going into the unknown always feels scary to our ego, to your little you, as I like to call it, the one who wants to keep you safe at all costs, also at the cost of growing and expanding and receiving. Okay, so this is the only way to change patterns, to break them. And the more you do, the easier it will get, and the more fun it will be too. Like, I had this habit of like skin picking for 15 years. And two things helped me break the pattern. First of all, obviously I did the inner healing that was necessary. I found the real source of it all and I healed that. And second of all, I had to break the pattern by not scratching. And it was hard because it was a habit, right? But every time I chose not to scratch instead of scratching, I broke that pattern a little bit more, right? Do you understand what I'm saying here? Let me know in the comments if all of this makes sense. And, you know, once you have become the person who is in full alignment with what you want, then it's time to receive. That is step 3. Let me check the comments before we go on. Hi, Jenny, welcome. Peter says, if my child wants something. I wasn't really talking about like our children here. Like, I was talking about our inner child before. I'm still not really sure what you mean. Like, this isn't about what you say yes and no to when it comes to your child wanting something from you. This is about you opening up to receiving more money. So that's a whole different topic. So if you don't mind, I'm not going to expand upon that right now, if that's what you meant. Now, receiving. From that important foundation that has been created in step 1 and 2, right? We need to keep doing 2 key things every day that open us up to receive. 1 is to stay in energetic alignment with what we want. And 2 is to keep doing what it takes to create gateways for money to flow to us, right? For example, if I don't make offers and I don't create invoices, people can't pay me in my business, right? If I don't make up with my family, I probably won't inherit or receive birthday money, right? And that's how you start to receive, okay? You stay in energetic alignment and you take the action that's needed, okay? So questions about these 3 steps. What's really important here, the mistake that most people make when it comes to wanting to manifest more money, and let me know if you recognize yourself here. They're excited in the beginning about the prospect of making more money. They make an initial effort and then they stop. Okay, so you do some tapping, you do some affirmations, you make a little investment, and then you fall back into old patterns. By stopping the energetic practice, you fall out of alignment again, and you don't even look at that investment at the course that you bought, you know, and then of course the money doesn't come. And then you just buy the next course, or you change the tapping video, and then you start all over again, and still nothing happens. Because you're literally starting and restarting the process, but you don't go the distance with it. Do you see that? This is not how it works. The key is to stick with creating the alignment and with taking action for as long as it takes for the money to show up, okay? And I know that can be tough because you cannot see the start of a manifestation because it's still energetic, right? You've planted the seed and you're providing the nourishing earth and the sunshine and the water, but you also need to keep doing that if you want to actually see that plant grow, right? And that's what my son is like. He's super excited about planting stuff. He loves plants, so he eats the fruit, he keeps the seeds, he plants them in our garden. And then he forgets, that this plant might need shade. There is no shade at that place, or he forgets to water it. It doesn't rain for a while. No plant is coming, and then he just takes the next seeds and plants them. You know, that's not how you grow a garden, right? And he's learning that. So I hope you see what I mean here. And that is just one of the reasons for why I'm offering the Money Magic Mastermind, because it is just so much easier to do this work together, to stick with it, and obviously also magnifies the energy, and therefore we can manifest much more and much faster. And of course, you also need powerful practices to release, become, and receive. That's why so many people are like, they start with a free resource that they find online, and they feel like it's not working, they switch, okay? But you will never find the true magic stuff online, like for free, because these really powerful practices, no one is gonna really release them without being there to guide you through them, because they are so powerful, right? You can't just put them on YouTube. I know there are some practices like that, shamanic journeys, but that's really irresponsible, at least from where I stand. So, that's why I use the power of shamanism in my programs, combined with yogic elements, to make sure that you will be really successful at this, and it will be beautiful and fun at the same time, and not end up being frustrating again, So for all three phases of manifesting much more money, okay, we have these elements in the mastermind. We have the mastermind sessions where everybody gets coaching, but also where everybody steps up to be a leader and teach and share their experience, which is how we learn and integrate the best, and which will make you feel so empowered around money, like you got this, like you're already an expert, like you're already rich. That's such a big part of the manifestation process. And then the second element is the energy work, which is either going to be a short daily practice or a longer weekly practice, where we heal the bigger money wounds and step into a whole new reality with money, because it always starts on the inside. And the third element obviously is the aligned action. I'm going to have you take lots of fun actions to manifest this new reality into the 3D. Okay? So from month 1, which is going to be all about releasing, we're going to work with your money fears, with your limiting beliefs, with your feelings, your stories, your patterns. We're going to work with your money shadow through shamanic journeying. We will do shamanic breath work to release money blocks. We will go over your monetary obligations, and I'll teach you how to start saving. We'll do shamanic asana to release on a cellular level all the energies that don't serve you anymore when it comes to money. And month 2, becoming. Here we dive deeper into who the rich you is, and we'll start to call her to life through a strong positive vision, a short and sweet self-care routine that makes you feel rich. You receive your shamanic money power animal. We will practice abundance. We will expand your money container. We will do money womb work, and we will practice relaxing through shamanic mudras to set the stage for part 3 and month 3, which is going to be all about receiving. So here, you will get so much better at receiving all the good things that life has to offer. And of course, we'll focus on money specifically through Yoga Nidra, where you will literally learn how to attract money in your sleep. And you're also going to practice to ask for what you want and need. We'll also deep dive into your purpose. You'll connect with the soul of your business if you have one. We'll work with your innate worthiness and the value of what you have to offer. You will start to see selling as a sacred service, and you'll make offers to prospective clients, and you'll learn how to powerfully call new clients in energetically. So while this program is not only for attracting more income, and not only for business owners, but to receive money from all available sources, it will definitely help you to manifest more income if that's what you wish. And what's also amazing is that for all those of you who need business coaching to start their businesses successfully, and you haven't been able to afford mine in the past, you will be able to add that to the Money Magic Mastermind once you're signed up at minus 50% of the regular fee, because I know that the combination of the energy work and those aligned actions, or with the actual business coaching where you're going to create your business from the ground up, that's going to be like crazy, super magic, powerful. So before we dive in with part 2 of the Money Masterclass next week, I invite you to check out the Money Magic Mastermind with the special discount link that I shared with you in the description to this live. The discount is literally 1,111 euros. So if you know a little bit about how I run my business, every time I run a program for the first time, you get an insane deal because it's the first time I run it, right? And this is literally a chance that I do not want you to miss, because it is going to be much more expensive in the future, because I know it is worth much more. This is a really sacred container. There's only going to be 12 women in it. So if you feel called to join this and use this unique chance, absolutely join us. You have the link in the description. And check it out now. This link is only valid until the 18th of March, because on the 19th of March, I'm already going to deliver the fast action bonus to you, which is going to be the shamanic healing session, where I will work on your biggest money wounds from this lifetime and from past lifetimes, so that you have time to integrate before we actually dive in and start in April. Good. Let me see if there's any more questions for me, any other comments. What a beautiful container. Absolutely. I'm so excited for it. Some women are already signed up, but I have quite a few places left, quite a few spaces, and I would love for you to join me there. It's going to be absolutely magical. Like, I have really ever looked forward to a program like this, because these are the practices that I have myself used to get to where I am today. And I just can't wait to share them with you. I just can't wait. It's going to be absolutely incredible. So check out the Money Magic Mastermind now, and join me right here again in 6 days for part 2 of the Money Masterclass, where I will give you a detailed inside view into how exactly I created my dream life and how I manifested all the money that I needed for it, so that you can do the same, and how you can start now, before the money shows up, which is what I have never ever heard anyone talk about when it comes to manifestation, which is what I found out the hard way, but which is just magical. So you never have to wait for the money to come in. You can always start to manifest what you want right now, independently of the money. So join me here again next week. I'm so excited for that. Thank you so much for being here. I so look forward to teaching you more about this, and I look forward to hearing the insights from everyone who has been watching this on the recording. It feels transformational already. So amazing. I'm so happy to hear that, lovelies. Lots of love to all of you, and I'll see you again here next week. Lots of love for now, and bye-bye. I cannot end this live. That is really strange. It still says live video is starting here. Okay, I will just continue my day being here with you guys. Not that I mind. I'm scared if I just close the browser, it might not save the video, which would be a real shame. Anyone know what to do in this case? There's literally no button to end the video. You see, that is why I rarely do lives on Facebook, and why I prefer Zoom in my own network, because there's literally never a tech issue like this.